No, I don't anticipate it'll be long before the situation's resolved. We're quite confident about the surveyor's report. All I'm asking is that you extend our credit line, just to give us some breathing space. Yes, you have my word. I'm very grateful, Mr. Ellis. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now. He's agreed.
1 down, 20 to go.
Ah, you bloody old pessimist. You could sound a bit more enthusiastic. That was a major step. Just so happens I might be on to Alice to twist his arm further for materials.
Materials? What use of materials when we aren't got any orders, Jack?
Yeah, not this morning we haven't, but this afternoon, who knows? Hey, remember I told you I had something up my sleeve?
Like what?
Well, I had a call from a retired admiral this morning. He might be giving us a commission.
Oh, great. I was beginning to think the Davis Seagram boat would be the last one we build. If you could only pull it off, Jack.
Sabine Caroline who recommended us. She said she'd try and get us some more work.
Well, I thought you were in the doghouse since you missed her delivery date.
Yeah, so did I. That's what I can't work out. Still, all that's important now is this admiral.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
How's it going?
All right. How long you had this bird?
About 2 years?
Doesn't look like you used it much.
I haven't.
Why don't you sell it then?
I think I probably will. That's why I needed it revarnished.
It's never worth it. Won't make that much difference to the price.
Why don't you just stop trying to talk yourself out of a job and come skiing?
Water skiing?
No, dry skiing. At the dry ski slope.
You mean now?
Why not? It's far too beautiful a day to waste.
Yeah, I do have work to do.
Work. It's all I did at university. So now, I'm just gonna have fun. So should you.
Is that all you're going to do?
Unless you can come up with a better suggestion. Come on.
You're unbelievable. I've never met anyone like you before.
You know something? It's the first time I've seen you smile. Come on.
Anna, welcome.
Hello, Mrs. Howard.
It's Jan, please. I'm delighted your father allowed you to accept.
So am I. You're about the only person I've ever known who's been able to make him change his mind.
He was quite reasonable about it, really.
Yes, if you can do that, you can do anything. I'm really looking forward to working with you.
Good. Now, before I show you around properly, I've been going through your portfolio to see which of your designs is suitable. And I can certainly use these.
Good.
Now, I'm going to need about another half a dozen more. How soon could you let me have them?
Oh, I don't know. What's the deadline?
I'm planning to borrow a great deal of money in order to expand my business. Now, the committee that holds the purse strings will want to see examples of your work. I've got to persuade them that you're going to be as successful as Claude.
You mean it depends on me as to whether you get the money?
I know it's a big responsibility, but don't worry about it. You've got the talent, believe me. Now, coffee?
Hello, Rolf.
Hello, Avril. It's Charles. Listen, I was wondering if you'd care to join me for dinner this evening, on the yacht.
Look, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm...
There's someone I'd very much like you to meet.
Who?
A man called Werner Grunwald. He represents a consortium that's financing the business park.
And you need a hostess?
What I need is some feminine intuition.
Race you!
I'm a bit out of practice.
So I see.
It's not that funny.
No?
Nah, if you'd whisk me off to the Alps.
Here. Ooh, I might just do that.
Yeah, but you would.
Oh, look, you're smiling again.
So, what's wrong with that?
Nothing. I like it. Suits you. You should do it more often.
All wood, is she?
That's right, Admiral.
What's her displacement?
About 12.5 tons.
Sail area?
Oh, about 1,500 square feet. We think we might install a roller furling headsail system, which will make her ideal for short-handed sailing.
Sounds as if you know your trade, Mr. Rolfe.
Or two. Been at it a few years. And there's not many real craftsmen about these days.
Indeed.
So, do you think something like this might be of interest to you?
It could be. As long as there wasn't any delay in the building.
Oh, you heard about that.
Wouldn't have mentioned it if I hadn't. Is there a problem?
Well, I was a little optimistic on the delivery date. I didn't take into account the time it takes to get it right. I suppose that's the fault of being a perfectionist. But there's no problem as such. And I'm sure Mrs. Davis Seagram would have vouched for that. Otherwise, she wouldn't have recommended us to you, would she?
She didn't. Tell me about your partner, this Howard chap. Aircraft designer, isn't he?
That's right, yes, yeah.
What made him think he could design boats?
Well, he can design boats, Admiral. Sure you must have heard of the Barracuda. One of the finest crafts my yard's ever produced.
Yes, but what about this catamaran business? His mother-in-law says it's ruining his career.
Oh, you know Kate Harvey, then?
Used to, very well. From before the war. I haven't seen her since. She was Kate Wilder then.
Thanks.
And aren't you going to kiss me?
No,
Why not?
because I don't want to.
Don't you find me a bit attractive? Most men seem to.
Oh, no. And most men.
No. You're really rather strange, aren't you? Maybe that's why you appeal to me.
So I appeal to you, do I?
For goodness sake.
So, Charles, you have made your inquiries?
Yes.
Well, I hope you are reassured.
Oh, I'm reassured the package is sound.
But
Tell me, Werner, do you know my father?
why do you ask?
Because I happen to know he's had dealings with 3 other companies in your consortium.
So?
I think what Charles wishes you to understand, Mr. Grunwald, is that he and his father prefer to keep their business interests entirely separate. So, if Sir Edward does have any money in the consortium, he might not wish to become involved.
Well, I'm afraid that I am unable to confirm or deny that Sir Edward is an investor, Miss Rolfe. I have no means of knowing.
I see.
Forgive me, Charles, but why don't you ask him?
I have.
And what did he say?
He said he had better things to do with his money.
Then surely that settles the matter.
No, Werner. Unfortunately, it does not.
Dad? Dad?
Leo, what are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
I'm just going over the catamaran specifications.
That's not what I mean. I asked the Jolly Sailor. They told me he'd moved in here.
For a while.
You're right, Dad. You look terrible.
I'm fine. I just haven't been sleeping too well lately.
Because of the catamaran or because of Avril?
And what makes you say that?
If there was a woman in your life, you'd be taking better care of yourself.
You're getting very perceptive in your old age, aren't you?
Mum says the divorce will be through any day now.
That's right.
Can't you make one last try for reconciliation?
No, Leo. It's too late.
Why? You loved each other for so long, I still don't understand why it all fell apart.
People change. And we discovered that we weren't the same people who fell in love all those years ago.
So you fell out of love?
Yes.
What a waste.
Love is never wasted, Leo. Remember that.
I'm worried about you, Dad. I mean, things are going well for Mum, so she's okay, but you're having to face this catamaran business alone.
I'm not alone. Jack's having to face it.
Yeah, but you've got no one to come home to, no one to share your problems with. What I wanted to say was, there's always me.
Thanks, Leo. I appreciate that. Well, that's enough about me. What about you? Have you got a job yet?
Sort of.
Sort of?
Yeah, I started my own business. Boat maintenance. Here. Had these handouts printed.
Good for you. Got any customers yet?
Just one. A girl.
A girl, eh?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure whether I like her.
Well, you don't have to like the customers. I mean, it doesn't have to be a personal relationship.
In this case, I rather think it does.
Ah, tricky. Yeah. Jack had the same problem with one of our customers.
How did he solve it?
Well, he played along with it for a while, and then he made it clear he wasn't interested.
Suppose he had been interested.
Well, you know Jack. He'd have waited till he cashed a check first.